Nigga came in the bottom. I ride the bag and got in some red. Jump out the bag to go get some red. I jumped out the bag to go get some red. Yeah. Young nigga came in the bottom. I jumped out the bag to go get some red. Young nigga came from the bottom. I jumped out the bag to go get some racks. Remember they put me in the trap. I got me a bag and went to the max. I was on the porch and I jumped up off the curb. Got a couple racks just to fuck it up. A nigga had to break the safe and cash out on a brand new Jazz just to run it up. Want a brand new Patek. VV's all on my neck. Got it all off finesse. I been chasing the chick. Bitch, I came from the bottom. I was broke and got rich. We was back at the band though. Got it all off the wrist, yeah. I remember days I was sitting in the project trying to get my hands on some red. Put the blue faces in the shoebox, gotta keep them neat, I'm trying to keep track. Stack them and wrap them in rubber bands. Trap for 6 months, seen 100 bands. Gotta go buy the new shoe for my brother, I want him to drip like a stunner man.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 81 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Let's take a second. Always remember what? Like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend about the podcast. It is the Splashcast. Let's do it, my friend.
Let's do it. Ooh, I haven't done that in a while. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Y'all know how it is on Monday Night Raw. We always start off with HBCU news around the culture. We then go to the most relevant sport right now. It's football season. NCAA and NFL news around as well as news around the NBA with basketball, and then normally we round it out with splashes of the week if we have something for it. If you have a chance, make sure you go back and listen to the pregame. We talked about Cedar Grove getting robbed. Emmanuel Hansel or Hansel Emmanuel, I don't know which name it is. Scoring his first buckets. He has two first names to me. So scoring his first bucket. He is the internet sensation with one arm. And of course, we had some Braves news as well as PacMan knowing how to fight but not how to box. With that being said,
duck. I mean, I'm just saying.
He did. He ducked a couple, because if he ain't ducked one of them, that'd have been good night. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and jump into our HBCU news around the culture. Let's start out with KD. Shout out to KD. He and the Boardroom, which is his media company, donated a new floor to PG County's Bowie State. He's from PG County, and he donated Kevin Durant and the Durant Family Foundation have committed to $500,000 towards the renovations of the basketball arena and physical education complex at Bowie State University. This is a picture of the floor. We always champion HBCUs here. We always champion those that commit to HBCUs, commit and follow through to HBCUs. I'm going to say that again one more time for y'all. Those that commit and follow through with what they promise and say to HBCUs. Shout out to Kevin Durant and Bowie State. Here is a picture of the athletic administration thanking Kevin Durant. You know, he couldn't be there because they had a whole ceremony and everything with his family. And there's his mom.
The real MVP.
The real MVP. He couldn't be there because, of course, he's playing basketball, but they definitely donated. So shout out to Kevin Durant. And this, of course, is the video. The Durant Foundation gives $500,000 to the Bowie State University sports complex.
And I know a lot of people, because when I saw this, I knew it was going to be at least some level of people who are like, oh, well, this is just a tax write-off. It's the end of the year. They're trying to clear their books.
So
I'm perfectly okay with that. I actually wish more people, if you got to pay it in taxes, man, at least
give it to the blacks.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I mean,
hey, man, we root for everybody black. Hey, if you got to give whatever, If it's a tax write-off, it's a tax write-off. I'm a tax write-off to the blacks and the HBCUs to my people.
I really hope that in the future we have a more concerted effort to try to figure out how to link these two things together. And this is what we talk about all the time. This is his neighborhood. This is where he is from. Going back to the HBCU in your area where you came from and reinvesting. It is a beautiful thing. And as we continue to put players in the NBA, and everybody's not going to go to an HBCU and then goes to the NBA. We get that. We're not unrealistic. But if you didn't go, support the one in your neighborhood, man. Or support the one, where you play.
Well, here's my thing.
We don't ask for much.
Here's my thing. Everybody talks about HBCU sports. I don't mean to tie this into other topics, but I'm still my ass is a little chapped about certain things. But everybody talks about HBCU sports. One of my family members, one of my God family members said playing at a HBCU is like playing at a high school. I took umbrage to that because if you give back and people give back and they come and say and provide the same resources that everybody else gets, and they say, well, nobody gives back to HBCUs, the alumni don't give back. For example, let's just say it's the University of Tennessee. All the people that go to the game that donate don't go to Tennessee. Have you been to Knoxville? All the people don't go to Tennessee.
That was going to be my very next question is, if you think that that's high school, I want to know what schools you think are not high school minus the SEC schools. Because you start looking at the rest of these schools.
Anybody outside of the major conference schools, all your mid-majors is like playing, they're small schools too. All your Division IIIs are smaller than HBCUs.
Yeah, it's a lot of these schools. Hey, show me the Hall of Famer from Coastal Carolina. Let's do that. I'll wait.
No, they never go forgive Coastal Carolina for being ranked ahead of Florida.
No, but that's a school that just has, some money. But if you're gonna call HBCU football high school, what are you calling the Chanticleers? Please clarify that for me. And a lot of these schools have way more Hall of Famers than the Chanticleers.
And I said, if you want to talk about that, then let's talk about the underfunding. Like, you got to have, and that's in this entire conversation.
Or you could just pay them their money back.
The entire conversation. Yeah. North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, it's all coming out.
Just pay them their money back.
You could have that whole conversation. If you want to have the whole conversation, we could talk about Deion. We could talk about HBCUs versus this. If you want to have the entire conversation, then you have to have the conversation about being underfunded, not by alumni, not by other private businesses and donations. This is by the government. State-controlled government underfunds HBCUs. So if you want to have that conversation and you want to make those comments, then you need to have the entire conversation. Luckily, I was able to have this entire conversation with this person.
Wood shit, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, I love him. That's my cousin. So I consider him my cousin.
Hey, sometimes it's tough love in the black family.
Yeah, but I had to, I had to let him know. But shout out to, again, I don't want to bury the lead. Shout out to Kevin Durant donating. Another person donated today, Charles Barkley, who is known for donating to HBCUs. He's donated to Alabama A&M, Spelman, Clark, Morehouse, just to name a few, has now added Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State to his resume. He's donated $1 million each to Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State and ALS Research. He's a former Auburn. His former Auburn teammate, Gary Godfrey, was diagnosed with the disease. So he decided, since he's so lucky and blessed beyond anything he can imagine, he would like to share the blessing and donate to these schools. So shout out to Charles Barkley donating to Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State. And what do you always say? Donate to the ones in your neighborhood. He's from Alabama. He works in Atlanta. And he's donated to schools in both of those places. And now he's stepping out even further. So shout out to Charles Barkley.
And these are two guys who the internet does not always love.
Nope.
Notoriously, they probably see the worst parts of the internet, or not the greatest part of the internet. Let's just say that. And once again, one of the things I try to champion here is integrity. If you can get out here and kick this man's ass for his opinions on X, Y, and Z, when he does something good, you should be able to step in and say, hey, you know, you did a good job with this. You know, Charles being very intentional with, you know, donated to historically Black colleges and universities annually, extremely impressive. And like I said before, Kevin Durant going to his neighborhood and investing in the HBCU is all we can ask.
Always support the HBCU in your neighborhood, and these guys have the funds and the ability to do it. Other HBCU news. Did I open up the same thing twice? I did. Other HBCU news. You can't have an HBCU segment without Jackson State right now.
Nope. I'm saying it so they can't hear you. Nope. This is the TC Taylor section now.
I said Jackson State. I didn't say it.
Oh, I wanted to make sure that we didn't.
I said without Jackson State. TC Taylor, I believe, who is a grad of Jackson State, is expected to be named the next head coach at Jackson State. Taylor will be the first-time head coach, but was the offensive coordinator at North Carolina Central when they won 3 MEAC championships. And if you know anything, they won another one, and they're going to the Celebration Bowl, ironically, to play Jackson State. But they'll be led by the coach going to Colorado.
Are you sure about that?
Huh? Yeah.
Are you sure he's coaching that game?
Yeah. He'll be there. Well, at least he said he will.
Trick bag.
TC Taylor again has a proven resume as a coordinator. Jackson State's offense shall probably keep popping. Hopefully he can keep the recruiting going. I don't know if he'll keep it at the pace that the Colorado coach had, but he definitely is a very good offensive mind, as he was the offensive coordinator at Jackson State as well. Shout out to TC Taylor. Congratulations.
That's an interesting situation, because it's kind of like the joke I made before is, you're going to leave me here and you headed to the promised land. Should be interesting to see how and what he does with his career with Jackson State over the next, I would say, 5 years.
Yeah. Jackson State is Southern University's rival in band. Southern's rival in football is normally more of FAMU and Grambling. But hopefully Jackson State can stay up there football-wise, and it'll be good games, because one thing you can say is that they've played really, really well and had a great turnout for these games. Moving on. Speaking of Southern University, the Black College Football Hall of Fame class of 2023, old ball coach, the meanest SOB that you would ever see on the sidelines of Baton Rouge, Coach Pete Richardson, has been inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Shout out to Coach Pete. He took over in the 90s. He was the coach in the 90s and the early 2000s, and he used to thump Grambling. Oh, Grumbling. Ooh, I think I now have a new insult. He used to thump Grambling back in the day. And now he is going to be enshrined into the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Shout out to Pete Richardson, Coach Pete. Secondly, Monsieur Leslie Frazier, one of the best coaches and coordinators in the NFL. I believe he wasn't a head coach at one point, and then he kind of got he got hold. But you have Leslie Frazier, who's also being inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame. I'm actually very surprised that Antoine Bethea didn't go from Howard University. I expect him to be added to the Black College Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. Boy, watching the
even Hampton people are man, put the dude in the Black College Hall of Fame. He had a great career.
Yeah, so I expect him to be enshrined next year. But shout out to Pete and Leslie Frazier for being inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame class of 2023. MEAC Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year. Davius Richard and Khalil Baker representing the MEAC, and they will be at a Hall of Fame. They were at a Hall of Fame event in the NFL Network. Both played really, really well all year. They are the new offensive and defensive players of the year.
North Carolina Central.
They both went to Central. I thought one went to Howard. But yeah, you're right. Central, who, I mean, they had a hell of a season. Central's low-key a powerhouse in the MEAC right
quietly.
now. In the MEAC right now. Howard is on his way. But right now, Central is dominating. Ain't never going to take a chance to not take a shot. But
can't do it.
Khalil, the defensive player here, had 21 sacks.
That is ungodly.
21 sacks over his career. So he's playing out of his mind. He's been playing out of his mind for a long time. So this sounds like it was long overdue. Ooh, and the Central people are trolling. They saying Eagle Pride instead of Aggie Pride. Woo, gotta love.
Shoot. Hey, man. Let him, get it off. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
They don't like him. Beat him.
Beat him. Don't want me to celebrate? Keep me out the end zone. Shout out to Cam.
Relax, Zion.
So in the CIAA, Bluefield State, the Big Blues have been welcomed back to the CIAA. Bluefield, I believe, is in Kentucky, right?
Bluefield, Kentucky, correct.
Mm-hmm. They have been welcomed back into the CIAA to make room. The CIAA had to get rid of a school, and I believe it was the only non-HBCU
correct
that was in the CIAA. They got them out of there pronto.
How do you feel about that?
I just said in the last segment I root for everybody black now. You should know how I feel about that.
Because, of course, with everything, we look at things from the clear point of view of what's obvious, and then we try to take a deeper look.
Man, my lenses are black, brother.
On the other,
my lenses are black.
I couldn't even get the statement out good before Reggie put his glasses on. But if the shoe was on the other foot, that can't happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you want to have the deeper conversation, they had to make an executive decision. If you're gonna add a school, you normally have to add two. You normally can't add one school. So if you add one school, you got to remove one school. You can't remove any HBCU schools from HBCU conference. You can't do it. They have to leave on their own. And of course, I always say I want the HBCU conferences to be strong anyway. I want A&T to go back to the MEAC with Hampton as well. So it is what it is. But
you couldn't do that to us.
No, because we bullies now. We social media bullies now. We'll bully you into doing something.
Black, if you put the one HBCU school out, oh my God, you might not even have a sport no more. Give me my back. Give it back.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. But shout out to Bluefield State, the Big Blues, for getting back in the CIAA. It's actually a bigger conference for them, so it promotes a lot of growth for their school as well. So shout out to them as well, man. Do we have any more HBCU news, or is that it?
That's it.
Hey, man, I'm going to say this real quick, though. Y'all make sure y'all go and look at some of these SWAC schools and these MEAC schools, these HBCU basketball schools. We're not really going to cover basketball for real, because it's still like early in the season. But
that's a shot.
But y'all, the HBCUs, especially Texas Southern, Grambling, Southern, North Carolina Central, A&T have all upset PWIs, and not no PWIs that aren't good. They've upset really, really good PWIs. As Sneaky says, the SWAC schools have been hooping low key.
And beating people who you would not regularly expect them to beat consistently. Damn near every night.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all, when it gets to be in real basketball season, we gonna highlight some of that
You
because it
mean
looks
March? My bad.
college basketball. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the HBCU segment of the Around the
Episode
League edition
81,
of
the
episode 81.
Splashcast with Reggie and Norwood.
My computer froze for a second. That's why I was like, So with that being said, we're gonna jump right into Colorado is on the list of SWAC victims that lost to SWAC to a SWAC basketball school. Ain't that ironic? We'll be right back. We're gonna jump into our football segment. We're gonna do a playoff preview. Georgia Tech has hired their new coach, and he's talking big noise. And then
Or
we'll
he's
talk
on drugs.
and then we'll talk about some of these NFL scores.
I assume him to be on drugs.
I mean, he took the prime approach. He's making promises he can't keep. But y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our football segment of episode 81 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition. We got a few things we're going to talk about today. Let's start off with college football. I think we talked about the college football.
We can skip it. We can for sure skip it.
Why would we skip college football? I thought you loved college football. Isn't college football your thing?
Next season.
You said that last
This
season.
season. Okay, bro. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Let's.
So it's the playoff preview.
You can see it.
Playoff preview, man. You have the college football playoff rankings came out December 4th. The Bulldogs are number one. They've been number one all year. They won the SEC championship. They lifted up the quarterback like he was a rag doll, like a toddler that you're trying to get out of the supermarket. And then you have Michigan, who just absolutely annihilated Ohio State to win the Big Ten, and then beating Purdue in the Big Ten championship. TCU, who actually lost the Big 12 championship, but they have been so. Do you call them lucky or do you call them good?
Now, before you ask me, do you want the truth or do you want the podcast answer?
Give me both. Give me the truth first. No, give me the podcast answer first.
Hey, all the teams in the top four. This is a different top four than they're used to having. I think that every team earned their spot there, and I think that these are the top four teams in college football right now.
Give me the truth.
This is some trash. First of all, I do not believe in Michigan. Not at all.
Apparently, you and Sneaky are the same.
I would pay money to watch Utah play Michigan and see who's a better team. I'm betting on Utah. Number one. Let's go ahead and cover that.
No.
Number three, TCU.
Disagree.
Hell no. No. You lost that game, you go home. You know that's the rules. You have to go undefeated or you don't get to be here. That is understood. I don't know why we got cute. Start doing something different. That's not it. And then we know Ohio State doesn't deserve to be here because they got whooped by Michigan.
So then who would be in your top four? If you're saying that, Sneaky said Michigan would smoke Utah. I agree. If you're saying that, then who deserves – so you saying this should be a two-team playoff?
I'm going to tell you who I still are my top four teams. If it was me, I'm going to tell you exactly who I want to see. Georgia at 1.
Say it again.
I mean, it is what it is. I ain't going to sit up here and lie. I'm not going to fake it. I would leave, even though I don't think that Michigan is number 2.
They've earned the number 2 ranking, though.
They've earned a spot in the top 4. They should be 4. And I think the Alabama should be top 4, but I'm only not putting them there because they get it every year. I want Utah, and I want USC. That's my top 4.
Utah, didn't they lose 2 games?
Like I said,
Utah, there's never been a 2-loss team in the playoffs. 1. So that takes away Bama. So you think Utah's better than Bama?
No. Okay, like I said, I took Bama out because Bama goes every year. So
You can't do that.
I'm just. I mean, do I think that Alabama is one of the top 4 teams in the country? Hell yeah. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but yes. If you have them play 2, 3, and 4, I think they win 2 out of those 3 games.
Sneaky said you only saying Utah to boost the Gators. He can't boost the Gators. He can't boost the Gators.
Utah play multiple times, and every time I've been impressed. That tight end is good. Those running backs are good. Cam Sky is good. I like that team.
If Utah did beat the Gators, they would have definitely made it into the playoffs. But they didn't.
Yes.
Gators caught them at the beginning of the season. That's the best time to play those games.
Exactly. And I still think the USC is top 4 team in the country. They had a bad loss, but I think that loss
aren't they a 2-loss team too? You picking that because you picked them as your sleeper. That's the only reason you're sticking by it.
I'm looking. Those are the teams that I think are the best teams. I told you as soon as Caleb Williams got hurt, you got to take him out of the game. That's coaching more than anything, because those receivers were still getting open, and maybe the backup isn't as good as Caleb Williams, but he's better than injured Caleb Williams. That's my issue. So
apparently
I think
he didn't think so.
Huh?
Apparently he didn't think so.
Oh yeah. And that's the reason I said you can't blame him for doing that. I know Caleb wants to play, but you got to look at all the rest of those guys who've been giving it all the entire season to say, nah, bro. Sometimes you gotta trust your guys like they trusted you all season.
That boy playing 2K GM with college.
No, those are just the teams that I think are the 4 best teams in the country. For me, I mean, I do think honestly, Alabama is the 2nd best team in the country. But
really,
shit, I think they're better than Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. Hell yeah.
I think Michigan, Alabama would be a really, really good game. I think TCU was awarded for being
awarded. That's exactly what
was awarded for being different. Because if you put if you make Ohio State number 3 and you take TCU out and put Alabama, then at that point it's the same 4 teams again. So I think
exactly.
But I also think TCU won a lot of close games and they're fun to watch. And I mean, at the end of the day, money rules all. So, I think you're wilding saying Michigan's number 4. I'm
telling, not ranking or whatever you got to do because you won these games. You tell me what team I think is the 4th best team. It is Michigan. I don't trust Michigan at all. I feel they're just like the Vikings to me. Sure, you got a good record. I don't trust you. Not today, not ever. And beating Ohio State doesn't make me believe in you anymore.
I think this Georgia-Ohio State game is going to be better than people think. When I say better than people think, I think Georgia's like a 10-point favorite. I think Georgia will probably – well, no, maybe not. I think Georgia will probably win by 10 points.
Y'all better not lose, boy.
I'm with Sneaky, though. I'm with the fans that are here. I think TCU Michigan is going to be a better game than you think because Michigan is missing Blake Corum. They have Donovan Edwards, who's good, but TCU can score, and they play decent defense.
Now I don't
decent
have
Big 12
any belief
defense
in TCU, but I need TCU to actually win this thing. I need them to prove me to be right.
That Michigan isn't good. I think everybody.
I mean, honestly, that Michigan winning or TCU winning is the only way that I get any peace. Y'all get that thing back to back. I'm never going to hear the end of it. And you know the other team. So the only way that I have any peace is Michigan hadn't won in so long that it's like they only got like 3 fans left. And TCU has 0 fans outside of LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to see a Georgia-Michigan rematch. If it's a close game, you're pretty much going to see it. No, I'm not doing no chaos. I don't want no chaos. There's no chaos. I don't want to see no chaos.
You've been begging for chaos all season. You got it now. Go ahead and y'all trick this game off. I need TCU. If TCU won this thing, it would be like I won a national championship. I'll be very honest with you. Man, I probably just cry myself to sleep. I laugh so hard.
But I will say, if TCU wins and Georgia wins, you might get another Alabama Notre Dame national championship.
If TCU wins this whole thing, I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's going to be so bad on Reggie.
No, it won't.
Yeah, it will be. If TCU wins it all, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I got a trump card. I can always say that y'all lost to Vanderbilt because you have said Vanderbilt for 2 years now. I can always say that y'all lost to Vanderbilt, and I can also say that there is no Florida on this list at all. But
hey, Brent Key to Georgia Tech. Brent Key to Georgia Tech.
You started it. I ain't say nothing. I was quiet. I asked you to give me.
You said, "Hey, man, let's talk about Brent, yo."
So Brent Key, a Georgia Tech alum and football letter winner, has been officially named the 21st head coach in Georgia Tech football history, Georgia Tech Institute history. He takes the reins of the program after leading the Yellow Jackets to a 4-4 record as their interim head coach. After they fired, what's their coach name? Oh, well, it don't matter. He got fired. He actually won 4 games in 4 out of 8 games as the interim head coach, and Georgia Tech won 4 games over 3 years. Averaged 3 wins over 3 years under the previous coach. Ironically, the first thing he said at his press conference was he plans to dominate. He will not stop until he dominates UGA.
Don't hate that. I do not hate that answer at all.
No, you have to. You have to say that. You have to sell wolf tickets. You have to. We've learned.
That's legit. Very legit.
You said that with a smile. You know that ain't no legit. What domination they better. You know what? But here's the thing. Teams, you no longer have to build. This is why I think coaches actually. This is a good conversation we stumbled upon. This is why I think coaches have such a shorter leash, because the amount of resources that are at your disposal now, not just in terms of facilities and anything, the NCAA transfer portal is a game changer. There are over 1,000 players in the transfer portal this year. 1,000. So, and one thing Georgia Tech does have that they can start to reallocate a little bit is money, because they have all the engineers in the world that come out of Georgia Tech, and they get everything. So they have money. So you can go in the portal and you can entice some people to come to Atlanta. But to dominate UGA right now, that's SEC money, man. I mean, they make $44 million a year just off TV rights.
The issue is the fact that the school's requirements are so high, and the courses are so demanding. I couldn't imagine trying to go to Georgia Tech and play football at the same time.
It's like going to Duke. It's hard. It's hard.
It's not like they have any. You ain't loafing at Georgia Tech, bro. You ain't just psychology in your way through it either.
No shame.
No offense to any psychology majors out here, but you know what I'm talking about, like or general studies. Like you just not just college.
Man, the correct term to say is ain't no basket weaving. You know, remember Andy Katzenmoyer at Ohio State? He was majoring in TV studies, basket weaving, weight training.
Katzenmoyer. I haven't heard that name in years.
And ABC posted his schedule, and they were like, "Dog, he's taking basket weaving."
Why would you do that? That's actually pretty messed up, man. And who is the human that's like, oh, let me go find this college student's
well, I think he was suspended,
so I can shame him.
I think he was suspended. He was suspended for academic fraud. It was the Michigan Ohio State game, if I'm not mistaken, and they showed his schedule. But
no matter what, that's still a hater move. No matter what, as an adult, you chose to publish a kid's schedule. It's a loser move.
hey, man. But anyway, let's get to these games real quick before we get into this draft class. What happened? We had a few things. The Rams and the Raiders in the Mediocre Bowl. 17-16. That was awful. That was god-awful to watch.
It was great. It was great to watch. Once again, I want to take this moment to reach, stretch, and pat myself on the back. I told y'all that Baker Mayfield still had a little bit left in the tank. And what did he do? He went down there and threw the game winner against the Raiders, who I despise. This
He's a really good backup quarterback. He's a really good backup quarterback.
And maybe he is. No, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, without a doubt. He's not in the top 2/3, but he is better than the bottom third. The majority of the bottom third, Baker is better than. And you got to think, Baker was at home on like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, now that I think that's more of an indictment on the Raiders that you let a dude come and have one day of practice and come in and throw 2 touchdowns to win the game. Throw in the game, win the touchdown. And it was an easy play call too. It was just a fade. He just threw a fade.
And there's no way you're telling me he's been working out that hard for the last few weeks.
No. He YMCA'd it. He definitely YMCA'd it.
He probably doing a little bit, but especially like midway through the season, he's not really turning it up. So at best, he's just managing.
But the thing about Baker Mayfield, and this is why it's also coaching. Baker Mayfield, his calling card is accuracy, right? So Sean McVay called plays where he gets to accentuate his accuracy. The fade to the corner. Throw it to this point. That's like that Steve Spurrier offense. I don't need you to make the insane throws. I'm going to tell you to throw it to this hash mark, and the receiver will be there. I'm going to throw it to this number, and the receiver will be there. And that's all you had to do. So I blame coaching for a lot of that.
Now, he is a player who likes to color in between the lines, so you can't really tell him that much. Now, I think that
humility. You could tell him whatever you want to right now.
I think that McVay plays like the video game with the quarterback, though. I think that he suggests what you should do, and his suggestion is always right.
Well, yeah. That's pretty much what the new. He comes from the Shanahan tree, right?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So that's how they all do. They talk to their quarterback till 15 seconds. The helmet mic cuts off at 15 seconds, but they talk the entire time. That's how he made it with Jared Goff.
And I think, that's the guy we're going to get to a little bit later. But I do think that this is hopefully Baker understands that he's in the right situation, and just whatever he tells me to do, just do it. I do think that McVay has that ability. That whoever he is, just listen to what he tells you to do and just do that and don't think. And, that's not really what they tell you as an athlete. But I think for him, just whatever the coach tells you to do, just do it. Don't even think about it. Don't use your brain at all. And I think that you'll be probably a good quarterback. At least that's what I've seen from a few different guys so far.
Yep. So speaking, I'm not gonna go through each game because that's a lot. Let's go with the topics, and we'll talk about certain things.
What's important and everything else we don't care about. How about that?
The 2020 draft class. Oh, I turned it off. If Baker can't thrive here, then he's gonna be the most famous. Nah, he ain't going to the CFL, sneaky. He's just gonna be the most famous backup ever.
No, but what did I tell you was gonna happen? Baker is gonna play these games. He's gonna weasel himself into another starting job next season. Watch and see. He's with the exact right guy to tell him everything to do, so he don't have to think about it. Y'all about to see a whole new Baker. Where
would he go? The Raiders?
Trust me, it's gonna be somebody who's gonna roll that dice.
It might be the
What
Cardinals.
you got with
we
the
just saw.
Saints?
We just saw. Oh yeah, yeah. We just saw the Saints blow a lead to Tom Brady. Where have I heard that before? But let's get back on track, man. This 2020 draft class. What's interesting here is, CeeDee Lamb has 19 total touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, who is probably the best receiver out of this whole group. He said he's Colt McCoy 2.0. Woo. 24 total
That could
touchdowns.
be good or bad.
Jerry Jeudy is a really good receiver. He just can't stay healthy. He hurts his
I think
knee.
he caught one this weekend too.
Yeah, he came back, but he had just come back from a shoulder injury. T. Higgins is really good. Chase Claypool was like he's got to prove himself as not being a flash in the pan, because his first year or two he was damn good, and then he kind of dropped off a cliff.
All of those guys over there are the same guy. You're a good 2. You're not a good 1. And the same thing. AB was the last legitimate one they had. Then you get Juju. He's a 2. And he made Claypool's job easy. So Claypool crushed. Claypool moves to 1. It ain't the same.
Well, they got Pickens now. They just can't seem to throw him the ball. I think the steal of this draft, though, it seems like the steal of this draft is Gabe Davis by far for Buffalo. Yep. Now, it's hard to say he's the steal of the draft because also we have Josh Allen. And if you can just run really, really far, Josh Allen can throw you the ball. But Gabe Davis is one of the better route runners. He gets open all the time.
That's the reason it's so tricky when people are like, oh, draft me high. You get drafted high for a reason. That team is trash. Getting drafted low ain't necessarily the worst thing in the world. You could fall into a much better long-term situation. Specifically, if that team has good talent assessment and actually gets a player that fits their system, oh, you're golden. You're going to get to that next contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody down. T. Higgins is, we knew he was going to be good, though, but he's also out there in Cincinnati, and he gets only single coverage because Chase and Boyd are always open or always getting good. Yeah, Juju does have the dropsies. He's getting over it, though. So let's move to the NFC South real quick. Cam Newton says there ain't a mother lover really like, we could say the whole NFC South, goddamn, ain't nobody better than me. Oh, yeah, Gabe Davis has Stephon Diggs, too. Nobody's better than Cam Newton at quarterback in the NFC South. Well, I can go ahead and name one person that's better than you. His name is Thomas Brady. So we gonna give
Thomas
that to you.
Edward Patrick Brady. I got 80 million Super Bowls, and you got
80 million dreadlocks. So, you got Cam. But he is correct about one thing though. No, he's
what
not.
is he right about?
I know if he would have changed that number, if he would change this 32 to 64, then he's right. There's not 64 better quarterbacks better than him. But I don't know if Cam Newton right now is a starting quarterback in the league. I don't. His shoulder. His shoulder is really shot.
Hey, like I Trey do, I'm waving you off right now. Cameron Jarrell Newton. It's over. It's big over. The last time you were really good, you were front running. Ever since then, you've been running out of time. It's been over for you. They let you go to the Patriots. Failed experiment. You went back to Carolina. Failed the class you failed the first time. And clearly, they can't pick a quarterback to save their life. You're not it. And you comparing yourself to these quarterbacks in the NFC South. Look at what you're talking about. The Falcons just got rid of Matt Ryan. We're still trying to get through the cap hit. So congratulations on being better than Marcus Mariota. Allegedly. I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Mariota can at least still throw the ball downfield. He just can't throw it to somebody.
Exactly. And also, Cam Newton, do you think you're better than Jameis? because Jameis' job got took by Andy Dalton. So
And Tamus. And a 4-time ACL tear tight end / H-back as well. Taysom Hill.
Cam, give it up. We don't want to hear. Give it up. You're done here, friend.
Good point by Sneaky though. I'm gonna shoot. Cam was like, it's like Shaq, right? When Shaq came into the league and they're just like, yo, you are just too big. And we're just gonna allow people to foul you. Cam was saying Cam was getting just destroyed, late hits, hitting the head, everything, and his personality just didn't help because they hated him. Like all the referees hated Cam Newton.
Move it on over. I would suggest you start a business casual Foursquare league or whatever you would like to do. But football and you, it's over, my friend. I could definitely see Cam Newton playing Foursquare at the top hat though.
If I were him, I would go to the USFL. Be a big fish in a small pond. Why not?
Okay, don't do that, Cam. I don't do that. You had a good career. Just
that boy said that's a self-respect. Is that what you trying to say?
Well, yeah, man. You think I'm gonna get CTE in USFL? I'm still rich and tall. You got. There's no way in the world.
That boy said I ain't about to risk my mind for the USFL.
Not a chance in hell. You gonna do that for $35,000? Nah, bro.
Hey, man.
I'll walk around Atlanta, be tall and rich, and see how things play out for me.
The Lions are 5-1 in their last 6 games. 6-7.
For the Lions all season.
What's interesting is Jared Goff has been playing out of his mind.
Ooh.
And Jared Goff has been playing out of his mind, and they got Jamison Williams back from that ACL tear in the national championship game, and he scored on his first catch was a touchdown.
And
the Lions,
Jamal Williams playing out of your mind over there. You got Penei Sewell making diving catches.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll definitely put the league on notice. They're not gonna make the playoffs. I like
the Lions. I really do, and I don't know why.
They're gritty. They're a gritty team. They're a very gritty team. No dance.
Yeah, and I like Dan Campbell. He looks like he goes out there and gives it everything that he's got. I like them. I liked them all season. No, y'all won't believe me. Go back and listen to other pods. I really hope they get it done. And Jared Goff has been playing his ass off. And this is what I wanted to ask you. Was it really worth it? Was Matt Stafford really worth it?
Yes.
I hate those one championships and then sugar the shits. Because that one championship, it kind of justifies it. But it only justifies it if you don't think that those players that you traded for ever get any better. Like it's like the AD Laker championship or like the Rams Super Bowl. Like, I guess we'll never know because they got a championship. But sometimes I think you could have got it. You could have had a legacy with stay with what you got. But we'll never know. It's just frustrating.
Sounds like a little hate. I mean, Stafford won a championship. They won a championship. They won a championship. Until Goff wins a championship, then it ain't it. You can't. He can't
get Detroit that far now. Like,
neither could Stafford.
But I don't think that Jared Goff not getting Detroit to I don't know, man. I don't like it. That's what I would say. Sometimes things just don't work out the way that they should. I don't like it. Yeah,
I feel you. But shout out to the Lions. They're definitely an intriguing story. This takes me back to the 90s Lions when they had Barry Sanders and all they had was Barry. Well, I mean, they had Herman Moore and Rodney Peete. But shout out to Wayne Fontes. Technically the first black coach in the NFL. Not our show.
Also, wait. One thing we forgot in the NFC South. It's a dog fight. We still in this. I know
Oh,
this ain't the Atlanta edition.
I was going through just the stuff, and then I was gonna go to the standings.
Okay, that's cool. We could discuss it then. I just want to make sure we.
Oh yeah, we gonna get there now, because everybody
address
sucks.
it properly.
Everybody sucks. How do you feel about the Cowboys signing T.Y. Hilton?
Passive aggressive move, if you ask me. I think
For who?
For Jerry.
No, I mean, like, who is
You know who that's targeted at. That's the Odell move.
So Odell's not coming, is what you're saying.
So I don't know exactly what this is, because I kind of thought myself through this on multiple ideas. I don't know what you can pay Odell for the rest of the season. I don't actually know how the salary cap works mid-season. Do you have to cut enough players to sign that player?
Yeah. You have to be able to come in under the salary cap.
So it's probably
Sneaky. You think so? Wait. T.Y. Hilton is like 35, ain't he? How old is T.Y. Hilton?
That's the other part about this is if he comes in
He's
at
33.
like a minimum. Yeah, I would have to know his contract, because if he's at a minimum, I mean, it could be a passive aggressive play to kind of make it sound like the Cowboys are uninterested and they know something about him, which might want to cool the market, because I know Odell wants some money. But maybe he's trying to cool the market and then go back and get Odell.
His veterans minimum $600,000 guaranteed, $50,000 per game, roster bonus up to $700,000, playoff incentives, maximum $1.5 million. So guaranteed is only $600,000.
So I mean, potentially, I guess you could still go get Odell, but this will make everybody pause. Hence the reason we're having this conversation right now. I mean, that's a Jerry ass move. Let me tell you that much. To try to cool the market on you by picking up another receiver.
Yeah. But
I
don't know if it's cool to market. I think because they said Odell has been talking consistently with the Chiefs, even though he hasn't made a visit yet. He said that's the one team that he has been consistently talking to the entire year.
Sure. I mean, how the Chiefs would be able to sign him would be beyond my mental comprehension. But I also, just like the Rams do it every year, the Chiefs find a way every year to find somebody. Like, how did he get there? So yeah, I would be very afraid of putting Odell in the Tyreek's spot if I'm the rest of the NFL. Be completely honest with you.
You'd be very afraid of putting Odell
for the rest of the NFL if you put Odell on that offense with Kelsey, with Juju,
Valdez-Scantling,
with big game Jet, baby, 2 touchdowns.
Jared McKinnon, and they got
more. And you got Pacheco. I think
Clyde
number
is probably
10 done for a season.
Yeah, I don't know how he would. I mean, you would just make room. I don't know how he would fit on that offense.
Wait,
you just
what?
make room. I was saying you would just make room, but then who would you lose? Somebody would have to go. You just named 5. You named 4 receivers and a tight end.
No, I named a running back. No, Pacheco and Jared are running backs. Wide receiver is Juju. Well, Valdez-Scantling can go to hell. I'm sorry. On the first thing smoking. And he was on my team, and I support him and all of that. But if it's you or OBJ, bro, I'm pretty sure you know OBJ had the catch. You didn't. So that's what it is. No disrespect. But this is OBJ. Him just being on the field changes our offense.
Yep.
And go Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Mike White left the game in the second quarter after a hit to the ribs. Came back in
PacMan
2 plays later. Got hit in the ribs again in the third quarter. Left game a second time to get x-rays. Returned at the start of the fourth quarter and finished the game. Once the game went final, he went in an ambulance with possible internal injuries. Look at him. He looks so hurt, dog.
Lord help me. Lord help me, please. Help me, please. He looked devastated. And that's one of those injuries where it hurts to exist.
Yeah, you can't breathe. It hurts to breathe.
Like just standing is excruciating.
Look at that offensive lineman in the background walking like, damn, bro, my bad.
First of all, if you think I'm going to walk out of here, I'm going to look like an old person at the airport. Hey, come bring me a chair.
We've been watching the World Cup. Go ahead and bring out that stretcher.
Man, something.
Yeah, I think. Do we have the hit? I think we got the hit, don't we?
He got it. They got it. We got it. Look at violence. That is
Oh.
You know what this reminds me of?
Oh.
Goldberg spear.
That is the Goldberg spear. And it's a legal hit too, though. He didn't hit him in the head. He didn't hit him in the chest. He didn't hit him in the knees. That is where you told us. You know, I would send that to the NFL like, this is where you told us to hit him.
Ooh. Look at his body. You not.
Hey, Zach, you want to come back? You can start.
Hell no. Hell no. We still get paid on Tuesday. Hell no. I'll go back to Utah before I let y'all. People have every time. Just look at how his body folds like a.
Jesus, if y'all are listening, man, just Google Mike White New York Jets hit. It's so bad, and they showed it like 10 times.
Look over to his left and watch 78 and 60 block two guys. That I promise. Look at that right there. I would right there.
That is not who you mad at. This is who you mad at right here. You, sir, number 32 on the ground, are the blitz pickup. You, sir, are the blitz pickup. You did not pick up the blitz.
Man, Jesus, something. Just get in the way, son.
That whole offensive line looked bad. Look at my man 76 right here. It's 3 guys right here. It's the dude spearing him, a guy right here, and then if you didn't hit him, 55 was going to lay him out. It's 2 guys blocking one guy. The guard and the tackle blocking one dude. The offensive tackle getting blown by.
I'm going to tell y'all this. If y'all didn't like Zach, and this how you treat the guy, you treat the next guy, you couldn't pay me to get out there if I was Zach. Not a chance. Hey, coach, they do not like me, and they did this to the guy they liked. Nope, no thank you. Respectfully, I decline. Concussion protocol. Chris, you didn't even play this week.
It's a concussion protocol, upper body injury. That's what I would call it.
Ben Simmons.
But tease a piece of my White.
I got injured and nobody knew about it.
I had a backyotomy. Teron Armstead flicked the ball to Tyreek Hill. This is one of the more bizarre plays ever. So it was a fumble. Teron Armstead was trying to get the ball. He hit the ball out of the pile, and Tyreek Hill, once he picked up the ball, there was nobody that was going to catch Tyreek Hill. You can't catch Tyreek Hill if you're running and he's standing still, and then he starts to run. You can't catch him. So when he picked up the ball, Tua even raised his hand for a touchdown as soon as Tyreek Hill picked up the ball. Watch Tua. Yeah. Tua got the touchdown. Yo.
I'm looking down at my fantasy right now because I'm up by 14 points, and we so close right now. And this Tua touchdown helped me get to
Tyreek Hill touchdown.
I mean, this Tyreek touchdown got me 24 points out of him. That's the reason. As soon as you did that, I had to look at my team. But thank you for Teron Armstead. If you meant to do this, your football IQ needs to be at 100. You need to get on the phone with the Madden people, and you need to demand to have the highest IQ in football history. Put yourself above Tom Brady. Put yourself above Bill
he did.
Walsh.
Yeah, he just flicked it out. You saw that? He just flicked the ball out of the pile.
But who?
He did. He did. Oh, running back. I can't pause. Can I pause? Yeah, I can't pause. Look, watch. Here. Dang, they can't. They showed it too fast. He was looking. That's his helmet down there. He was looking when he flicked the ball. He went like this and flicked the ball out. Yeah,
he
that's.
did that on purpose, man. You gotta give that man 1,000,000 IQ. You got, and you're getting destroyed under there. 400-pound man laying on you, and you decide, here I am going to throw a little option play. Hey, man, buy that man a car. Whatever y'all got, multiracial McDaniel, get that man straight.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all did lose this game, though, huh? Damn.
No, they lost. Speaking of fantasy football, so guess I was up by 14 points. The person I'm playing had Kyler Murray, the last person to play as their quarterback, and he got hurt, and I ended up winning.
Well, damn.
That shouldn't have been down sneaky. Nobody had possession of the football. Let's talk about this Mike Vrabel comment after he found out that they traded A.J. Brown. So Mike Vrabel is the coach of the Titans and now is the acting GM of the Titans because the Titans fired their GM because on draft day they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles, and A.J. Brown right now is looking like he's like, nah, and you can't talk bad about your GM. He said he's really comfortable with how everything went down. He was pissed. And when they need to show it, look, he's like, man, what the hell? Pissed, staring at him, pissed, because A.J. Brown is now a top five receiver in the league this year, stats wise, on the best team in the league, probably going to win the NFC East, and is the favorite to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl.
This is the face of a defeated man. I've been there before. When all you can do is like hold your hands like this and then do this, that means nothing I can say at this point is going to be okay.
Ooh.
I just have to take this L. It's my L to hold. I'm not happy about it. I'm visibly angry about it. But there's literally nothing I can do. So I'm going to take this L, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But in the back of your head, this some bullshit.
He's like, in the back of the head, he's like, this is some bullshit. And I think that's what he was thinking here at this point. But at this point, he's like, I'm about to get a promotion. I'm about to get a GM because they're going to fire this dude if Traylon Burks don't work out, because they drafted Traylon Burks, and then he got right after they did the trade.
Now, you won't make him a GM. He's
the GM right now.
I mean,
they fired this dude. He's the GM right now. He's coaching GM.
For probably the rest of the season. But I can't
What can't you see happening when they hire Jeff Saturday from the ESPN analyst desk?
I agree, but as the Titans organization, they need to kind of figure out a way to stabilize this thing. They are the Miami Heat of the NFL right now, where it looks like you've passed your time. You got to stabilize this thing immediately, or everybody's going to have to go, Vrabel included.
Yeah, Vrabel will end up being a defensive coordinator somewhere if it doesn't work out.
Oh, yeah. He'll get a cleanup job.
Or he'll go to college. He'll go to a college and end up being a head coach somewhere.
I think he's a pro guy. I do think
he doesn't talk about recruiting. He's not a big recruiter. Which is
I think that he was in a locker room for a very long time, and I think that pro football is where he wants to be, or at least that's what it seems like. You never know what these people are thinking, but
he could be making a play to replace Belichick. You never know, because I don't think Belichick got a lot more years left with this mediocrity that he has.
I've been waiting on somebody to tell me when he got to win more games, or all of his games just happen to have Tom Brady attached to him. Outside of that, he ain't been good. But that middle portion is very important.
Yep.
But
all right, man. Let's get to these. Go ahead. Well,
I'm just gonna say I've been looking at Tennessee all season and saying it don't look good to me. Surely don't look good to me.
Let's pull up these standings real quick. So I got the standings pulled up. I'm gonna move the chat over here. So the AFC East was close. It's still close. It's really, I would say it's a 3-team race, but it's really a 2-team race, but it's really like a. Buffalo seems to have faltered. Von Miller is out for the year with an ACL. Ever since Josh Allen hurt that elbow, he has not been the same. That offense has not been the same.
They've kind of come back to reality too.
They've come back to reality, but they've won 4 straight.
But you also know what that's going to be. That's gonna be. You're gonna find out that he had like a broken hand or something. My hand's been broken the whole season. I
Oh,
only
gonna pull
got
an
3
Aaron
fingers
Rodgers
left or something. Yeah. No. Josh Allen.
Yeah, I know he's gonna pull an Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah, absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers do that all the time. Or Miami got that. They won. I mean, they lost. They've lost 2 straight. I thought you would have said Miami is the team that came back down to earth. Because they were picked, to challenge the Bills. The New York Jets, the whole really division outside the Bills has come back down to earth, and then New England has stayed as New England. AFC North. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Baltimore was leading that division. They quietly got back after a hot start. They got back on the winning streak. They won 2 in a row. They're still leading the division because they're undefeated in the division. But Cincinnati is getting healthy. And they look like they're offensively. They look beastly. Although, never mind, they just lost Tyler Boyd this week. As I say, they're getting healthy.
It's gonna be a dogfight between those two. Deshaun went ahead and lost his first game back. Cleveland looks to be toast. Cleveland and Pittsburgh being tied. It seems like a victory for Pittsburgh and a major loss for Cleveland.
Major loss. Is there any team that's a bigger disappointment in Cleveland this year?
Arizona,
Green Bay?
maybe.
Nah,
Cards.
I don't think anybody had that much of expectations for the Cardinals.
What?
They weren't picked to win the division. It was, the Rams. I forgot about the Rams.
Oh yeah, definitely the Rams.
The Rams. AFC South.
The Dams.
Ooh, looking like the NFC South, ain't it?
No, because I think that all these teams are trending downward. I at least think some of I think that we're.
Damn.
Yeah,
Jacksonville. The only reason they won is because they beat Tennessee.
I think that Tennessee is bad, getting worse. I think Jacksonville is just a big stinker. I think that the Colts are bad, getting worse, and that little E beside Houston means that they're already eliminated.
I mean, they're 1-11-1.
That is not an E for
and
excellent.
what
That
sucks
is
for
an E
Indianapolis?
eliminated.
What sucks for Indianapolis is that they threw 2 games. Like, if they didn't throw those 2 games, they could probably be in the talk to win the division.
That is the reason what Jim Irsay should be criminal, because he legitimately just threw 2 games, which got them out of contention, and now it's basically over for them.
You're right, Sneaky. I forgot about the Browns didn't have Nasty Guy. Now they had Brissett. So now they got Nasty Guy back, and they still lost. But yeah, you're right, man.
That was his opener. That was his first game of the season. He took an L.
Yeah. Didn't they play Houston? No, they didn't play Houston.
No, they played somebody I think they should have beat. Let's get to the.
And then the AFC West, man, the Chargers are they beat all the teams they should beat. Like they beat the very bad teams, and then they lose to anybody else that's respectable. And that's how you get to be 500. And they are 1 game above 500 because they beat the Raiders. And Denver at 3-10, $236 million to be eliminated by week 13.
That's little E, not big E, baby. Goodbye. So does he play for the rest of the season, or do you just pay him to stay at home?
Man, hell no. I'm $236 million. You better run your ass out there and get beat up. You gonna play that bad? You need to run out there and get beat up.
First of all, I don't know if you might not want to say that, considering they put a lump on his head. How you have a football helmet on and you still end up with a lump on your head is beyond me. I'm talking about that thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That boy look like he got hit in the head with a hammer.
And he had a helmet on. That part of your head is covered by the helmet.
So do the Broncos fire their coach?
I don't know what they do. They better get the Walton family on the line and say, hey, man, the same way that y'all got these logistics going for Walmart, can you try that here with this team? Because it is.
The thing about Denver, though, is Russell Wilson is a different quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, right? And this is why I put this on the leadership. They had no desire to really hire the current head coach. He was supposed to be hired to entice Aaron Rodgers to come over there. And Aaron Rodgers was basically going to be a player coach. And he was going to basically run the offense with that coach who's his quarterback's coach. And it didn't work out. So now, Broncos country, let's ride. So now, right on to the couch. Now you have this coach who doesn't really know how to coach anybody but Aaron Rodgers, trying to coach a totally different quarterback in Russell Wilson, and they up there, they getting destroyed. Just destroyed. And Russell Wilson ain't helping either. But that offensive line is bad. They don't really have a running game. Like, they traded away their running backs. Like, everything about this is just a terrible situation.
But I do remember telling everybody, hey, this is a lateral move for the Seahawks. And it ended up not being a lateral move. I think this is a move down.
Obviously, Seattle is second in their division.
But I wasn't the highest on this team in the first place. I wasn't ever a believer of like, oh, yeah, this is a good move. It's a different move. It's a new place to be for sure. But I never thought it was actually a good move or anything of super value as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. Then you got the NFC.
I did not have them being the worst.
I mean, they're not the worst in the division. Worse than the division or worse in the I think I had them pretty bad though. I didn't have them winning in the AFC West. I think I had them third.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we should revisit these picks. It's actually pretty interesting, and we didn't do a bad job.
No, the AFC South. I mean, nobody saw 1-11-1. I don't think anybody saw that happening. What about the NFC? The Eagles, 7-1 in the conference, 3-1 in the division, 6-1 at home, 12-1 overall. They got beat by Washington only. The wild thing is, they're 12-1 and have not clinched the division yet. They've clinched a playoff berth, but they have not clinched the division because the Cowboys are 10-3, and quietly, and it's weird to say quietly with the Cowboys because it's really not quiet, but they won 4 in a row. Dak came back and had those struggles at the beginning, and now they've won 4 in a row. They're playing really well.
Reggie, do you believe that the Cowboys are better than the Chiefs?
No.
You believe the Cowboys are better than the Bills?
No. But I mean, they're in the AFC. The Cowboys are in the NFC.
I'm just trying to get a gauge of how good you think they are. Do you think that
the Cowboys? I think they are the third best team in the NFC.
So you're saying the Eagles and who else?
The Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, I think, are better than the Cowboys. Right now, I mean, they've won 6 in a row.
With Brock Purdy, you think that they're better than the Cowboys with Dak and T.Y. Hilton?
I think with Kyle Shanahan, they're better with Cowboys and Mike McCarthy.
Ooh. So you're saying the real duel is the coaches, not the players.
I think that the 49ers defense is so good that they will give the Cowboys problems. And I think their offense, and Shanahan is a much better offensive play caller than Mike McCarthy. In period. I don't think the difference may be might be small, but I think there is a difference though.
Boy. So
I put it this way. I think that wherever they play, San Francisco can beat Dallas. I think Dallas can only beat San Francisco, has a shot of beating San Francisco if they play them at home.
And that's with Mr. Irrelevant being your quarterback.
He's Mr. Irrelevant on that team. He's giving the ball to. He has Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle. Yeah, and they get Juszczyk back, I believe.
That seems like a lot for me. This man is literally the last man.
Do you think he's better than Tom Brady?
Who?
Brock Purdy.
Hell no.
They just beat Tom Brady 35-7.
Tom Brady didn't give up 35 points.
Exactly. That defense only gave up 7 points. What I'm saying is he's Mr. Irrelevant in the draft, and he's also Mr. Irrelevant on that team. We have always said that Mike Shanahan can pretty much plug and play anybody. Anybody.
This is the iniest of bodiest.
He went out there and played out of his mind against Tampa Bay.
You know that there are people who got drafted above him that have regular jobs now already?
Yeah.
Know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody who got drafted, didn't make the cut, and then went and worked a job.
Tom Brady
and they got
put
drafted
35 points
before him.
That NFC, I mean, the NFC is tough. How do we get here? We're talking about the NFC East. It seems like the Giants are coming back down. They've only lost one game, but it seems like they're coming back down to earth. Because didn't they just get absolutely embarrassed by Philly?
That's what I told y'all. Everybody, didn't I say that specifically? Stop moving all the time. Just stop and see how everything plays out. I knew that the Giants were not that good. I think that the Cowboys have some good players, but I'm not afraid of them at all. Even the Eagles. Now, A.J. Brown is making it difficult for me. I'll be very honest. He is playing
because I picked the Eagles. I think I picked the Eagles to go to the NFC Championship game. I think
you did, and that is now he is a person I 100% really. He looking like a whole man. I mean, he's looking so good. He got a man fired.
Well,
but
them
outside
playoff
of that,
brackets
I
look
still don't
horrible.
really
Though.
trust the
Jesus.
Eagles.
Them playoff brackets look bad as hell. Damn, Aaron Rodgers, you sold me. Jesus.
I don't know why you believe in Aaron Rodgers in the first place. I think I did too. Though.
I'm glad I didn't bet Sneaky that 48 pack that he wanted to bet.
You'd have been smoking on that 48 pack.
Yeah. Then you got the NFC South, NFC North, which I mean, at 6-7,
let's go.
Detroit
Lions.
has not been
Lions.
eliminated, and they've won 5. They're 5-1.
Let's go Lions. I would love to see the Lions come back and see Minnesota fall off. Oh, man, that would be great. I don't believe in Minnesota either. That's another team. Do not let them trick you.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. The thing is, the NFC East really could get 4 teams into the playoffs.
And I don't think but one of those teams is legit good either.
Philly?
Yep.
I think Dallas is good.
Commanders and
I think
Giants
Dallas is good.
Fool's gold for sure.
I think Dallas is good.
I think Dallas is a good 7 or 8. If you dress well, you'll look like a 10.
I thought you meant seating. I was like, whoa, wow.
No. I'm talking about visual. Could dress up and be a 10. Could get caught early in the morning looking like a 5.
Man, Dallas is they're a receiver away, and I don't think T.Y. Hilton is it.
Nope.
But I mean,
and if I'm Odell, I'm not concerned about T.Y. Hilton at all. You thought that me and him was the same man, then you need to get away from talking to me in the first place.
Look at the Patriots beating
fumble touchdown. And thank the Lord, because that's the one person who I do not need to score any more points. Thank you, Hopkins, my boy.
NFC South. The NFC South, I thought the Falcons and the Bucks were gonna kind of run. I thought the Bucks were gonna kind of run away with this once the Falcons lost those 2 in a row. But they have the team in the NFC South that is actually trending upwards. The only team trending upwards is the Carolina Panthers. Who saw that coming?
No, we trending up.
Well, we done lost 2 in a row,
baby.
Oh yeah, we got Desmond Ritter back.
We trending upward. Upward and onward, baby. That's what we needed. Now, unfortunately, Marcus Mariota seems to be believe that he's going to go to the injured reserve, which will, I think, eliminate him for the season.
Yeah, we just signed a practice guy from Tennessee as the backup quarterback, which means our third string quarterback, emergency quarterback, is Felipe Franks. Just wanted to put that out there.
All right, before Reggie attempted to take the wind out of my sails, I am gonna, it's always one person who's gonna rain on your little bit of parade. We don't have but a couple games left. We still have a chance to win this thing, and Reggie gonna bring up the one triggering part of this. But with that said, let's go Desmond Ridder. I no longer believe that it was a move based on production, because clearly Mariota can't play football right now if he's going to the injured reserve.
Yeah, it's pretty much over with. And then of course you have the NFC West, which is quickly becoming the San Francisco 49ers and everybody else. The Rams are over with. Arizona looks like they're over with. In Seattle, Geno Smith is still playing well.
At 4-9, you're over with, and they on the way, baby.
4-9, you're over with. So let's look at these playoff standings real quick, and then we'll end this. So in the AFC right now, Buffalo and Kansas City are tied. I think Buffalo has the better. I think they win the tiebreak because they beat them head to head. So they're both 10-3. Baltimore would be the number 3 seed. Tennessee would be the number 4 seed. That sucks, because Cincinnati would be the number 5 seed, and they would have to go to Tennessee to play Derrick Henry. And if you have a healthy Derrick Henry and a decent defense, you still have the ability to beat anybody. And then you have Miami at 8-5 and the Chargers at 7-6, which means the 7-6 Jets and the 6-6 New England Patriots, 7-6 New England Patriots after this game would lose. It would not make the playoffs. That would be an entertaining playoffs, though. Because remember, we're in the new rules. Only one team gets a bye. So Kansas City would have to play the Chargers. Baltimore would have to play Miami. Tennessee would have to play Cincinnati. Kyler's training for Fortnite on his iPhone and shaking his head at how bad this offense is.
Yep, the only person who... And I want you guys to notice how important it is to have a good quarterback. All of these teams have a good quarterback except for one. And that team has Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
So either you better have a prolific running back or go get you a top-tier quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty clear and cut and dry over here.
Well, look at Colt McCoy in there, looking like Colt McCoy. I do want Pittsburgh. I want to see Tomlin get that 9-8 though. I want them to win 4 in a row.
Yeah, that would be great.
Black coach, never had a losing season. The NFC, on the other hand, right now, Philly, I think if they win, Philly really needs to win out because they play Dallas on Christmas, right?
Being 12-1 and people telling you need to win out is got to be frustrating.
You know what's wild? 1, 2, 3, 4 NFC East teams are in the playoffs right now. 4.
And out of the 4 teams, 1.5 of them is good.
Minnesota played the Giants. San Francisco would play Washington. Tampa Bay would play Dallas. This game is intriguing. Tampa Bay and Dallas. No, it's not. Dallas will beat the shit out of Tampa Bay. But it all depends on health. It all depends on health, honestly.
Don't say that. Dallas could, but Dallas could also. Dallas beat the worst team in NFL by 1 point. Yeah, he should rock, rattle, and roll on him, boy. Feet up in the air. But yeah, Dallas has a unique ability to play exactly as good as whoever they're playing. If they're good, then they'll play good. If they're bad, they will look just as good as the Texans. And while I'm here, the Texans are idiots. I haven't seen any stupider coach football or played football in a very long time.
Damn, not the black coach.
Hey, I'm sorry. Got to be honest with you. That's a game there's no way you lose, and you lost it.
What happened? I didn't watch the game.
They were up by 6 with I think like 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. They blew it. And after that, I don't care what happens. Good luck, Godspeed.
So how do you think this final thought? How do you think this shakes out? Is there any team that's out of the playoff picture right now? Of course, we're going to say the Falcons. That gets into the playoffs, aside from the Falcons.
Well, once again, I
think Detroit or Seattle would catch one of either these two teams or both of them. I think both of these teams could catch Washington. I think Seattle and Detroit could catch Washington and the New York Giants.
Detroit has a good chance because they're trending up. I like Detroit to get there. I think that Seattle's actually trending down right now. I do.
If
think
Detroit makes the playoffs, he is coach of the year. Got to be coach of the year if he makes the playoffs with Detroit. Got to be coach of the year.
Yeah, unless you want to talk about.
This
I mean,
guy.
you got to deal with the Eagles.
Yeah,
that's the reason. That's the singular reason why you would not be coach of the year.
Yep, 12-1, and they look like they could end up being 15-1. They really should have been 16-0.
And let me tell you a guy who does not have to worry about being coach of the year, Cliff Kingsbury.
Ass-tastic, boy. He is awful.
How many more years does he get?
How many? He's awful. Cliff Kingsbury is the epitome of coaching white privilege. Just like
top tier average white man.
Top tier average white man. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the football segment of the Around the League edition of Monday Night Raw, episode 81. We are going to jump to our basketball segment in about 2 seconds, and then we're going to round it out. That'll be it. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back in about 2-3 minutes. Stay tuned.
And I'm coming back with a nightcap. We're going to close out the right way tonight, baby.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our final segment of episode 81 of the Splashcast, the Around the League edition. Our basketball segment, man. Got a few things we're going to talk about here today. I think we're going to, let me get ready to pull all of these topics up. I had to run downstairs for a second. Sorry about that. Before we get started with anything, we always want to send T's and P's, thoughts and prayers to the family of Paul Silas. Paul Silas, 2-time NBA All-Star, 3-time NBA champion. Great 16-year career, as well as had a long career as a coach where he coached with the Clippers, the Hornets, the Cavaliers, and the Bobcats. Has passed away at the age of 79. Paul Silas was one of them old school dudes, old school coaches. He was an enforcer, and everybody tells a story about when he was coaching the Cavaliers. It had a couple of the players that tried to bow up to him, running out of the locker room, trying to get away from him. So R.I.P. to Paul Silas, man. T's and P's to your family.
Absolutely, man. Great guy, legendary coach, legendary African-American coach. Job well done, man.
Yep. I'm gonna jump around on this list a little bit.
I'm cool with that.
Cade Cunningham plans to have season-ending surgery on his left shin, and he'll have a full recovery ahead of training camp. The folks in the Splashcast versus the World.
Shout out to the world.
The folks in the Splashcast versus the World chat said that this is a chance for them to take for Victor Wembanyama. If that were to happen and Victor Wembanyama goes to the Pistons, how long before you consider them a contender?
They have to be a contender immediately. Whoever gets Victor, you're a contender.
No way. If the Spurs get Victor, they're not a contender. No way.
Oh, they may be the only team that can say that. And I still think with Devin Vassell,
Keldon Johnson,
and Keldon Johnson, you will probably get you'll probably be able to get a vet or two to go there, and then you got your team. And the reason I say this is he's the highest
Rated
interested,
anything,
whatever you want to call it, prospect ever. Yeah, if LeBron made the Cavs a contender, like, well, not a contender. Well, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a conversation where they were like, "Hey, kid, you are hurt. If we were probably more competitive, we might try to see if you can play through it."
Because he's good.
But
he's really good.
Yes, you're a young asset. We're not getting there this year anyway. Let's let these other guys. I'm sure that now you probably. I think they got Killian Hayes, on their bench. Like, you give him one more shot at it to see what he is, and you reassess at what you got, and in the process, hey, if Victor, could be your teammate next year, I'm sure you'd appreciate that. That we don't have a way to get a guy that good.
Yep.
And I think that's just a conversation where everybody's like, all right, well, let's just do this. How about that?
Yeah, we'll see how it all works out, man. He is definitely the asset that you have to protect.
And so you do a little tanking in there too.
Yeah, it's definitely a calculated move.
Is there a team worse? Is there a team worse than the Pistons right now
in the league? Yeah, the Spurs. The Spurs.
No, but I'm saying the Pistons without Cade.
The Spurs.
You think that the Pistons are still better than the Spurs without Cade?
Oh, never mind. Detroit is last in the East. No. San Antonio and Houston are 8-18. The Pistons are 7-22. Charlotte is 7-20.
I think the Houston is better than San Antonio.
What if Orlando gets him?
Too.
What if Orlando gets the first pick?
That's best case scenario.
Because then you have to trade. If Orlando gets the first pick, they got to trade all them players. Because Victor ain't coming.
Oh my God! I'm gonna tell you right now. How would you even? Because if you tell me you got Victor at the 5, you got Banchero at the 4.
I'd be an asshole. I put Franz or Bol at the 3, or put Banchero at the 3 and put what's his name at the 4.
Jonathan Isaac. What about
bench 6-man?
I'm putting Isaac at the 3, and
If the Orlando Magic were to get the first pick and get Victor, you put Victor at the 5, you put Bobo at the 4, you put Banchero at the 3, and you do whoever you put Jonathan Isaac at the 2, and you put Cole at the start, and everybody else.
You're a crazy person. I am putting Victor at the 5, Banchero at the 4, Isaac at the 3, and I'm shuffling the deck. Hey, everybody else, you get to getting, bro. I'm doing whatever. I'm doing whatever it takes to find a way to find 2 of the best guards in the NBA. That is my answer. I don't care about anybody. I'm telling you right now. First of all, what is the answer?
Oh, I forgot about Bamba.
What does it take? How much money does it take for me to get Zach LaVine from the Bulls and DeJounte Murray from the Hawks? That's the only 2 things that I'm interested in. That's it.
If it were Orlando?
Yes. Oh, you can get all the future draft picks you want, and you can get Wendell Carter Jr., Bol, Mo Bamba, Wagner, either one of them, Suggs, and Cole Anthony. What iteration gets me DeJounte Murray? What iteration gets me Zach LaVine? And that's my team. DeJounte, Zach, Isaac, Banchero, Victor, and I'm saying, hey, welcome to hell. Because that's offense and defense. It is nonstop chaos.
Yep.
And I'm calling Quinn Snyder. Hey, I got a job for you.
I'm glad. Well, before we get to nonstop chaos, let's talk. Let's wish somebody that had one of the roughest roads in basketball. Greg Oden, number 1 pick, just had micro fractures in his knees. He is now back in basketball as the Butler director of basketball operations. He is definitely one that everybody is still rooting for because he was so good at Ohio State. He was so good. Wasn't he there? Who was he there with? He was there with Evan Turner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was there with Evan Turner. He was so good.
I'm just happy because I know that situation has got to be tough on you. You know, just having that type of situation, never get to actually, get to your prime. I'm sure this is great for his emotional part, but also to keep yourself busy, keep doing something too. This is good. Good job by Butler.
Yep. Good job, man. Good job. Let's get to the chaos. John Wall talking big noise in Washington. This is still my city. Going crazy. And he was talking to Ed. So you know what happened, right? No. Everybody was talking trash to him there was people talking trash to him in the
Why would you do that?
They were talking trash to him in the and about him in Washington, and he heard it and came back and was talking big noise.
Why would you do that to him? He is one of those guys. Now, I don't know what necessarily is going to happen with his body. But when it comes to that basketball gene, he is a murderer. He's not one of those guys you can play with. He's not one of those guys you can joke with. Hey, when it comes to kicking ass and playing basketball, oh, that's me.
People hating him. Say he only had 11 points. But I mean, he was hurt for 2 years. Didn't he tear his Achilles, hurt his knee? He did all of that stuff. He fell down the stairs in his house and tore his Achilles. He just had bad luck. But I mean, you gotta you knew he was circling this game, coming back to Washington,
without a doubt. And he's another one of those guys who, if I'm the Magic, hey bro, you healthy?
Hell no. What? No. To do what? Come off the bench?
Yes.
Why would he go to the Magic? He's in the Clippers.
You want to be with Kawhi and Kawhi. I'll never know if they're gonna play or not.
Man.
Or you can come down here with these young kids and be Derrick Rose Jr.
Orlando is 8-20.
I'm talking about if they get Victor.
Oh no! Let's get past the hypothetical Victor. Let's get past that conversation. I'm talking about right now.
Somebody gonna get him now.
Let's get past that. I'm talking about right now. I mean, if he gets Victor, then he's gonna be. I don't know if Orlando wants him if they get Victor because they can get somebody better. So at that point, no. But shout out to John Wall for even making it back. He was talking big noise. I think they ended up winning this game, didn't they?
Yeah, he's another guy who had some issues with his mental health, with the injuries and whatnot. So I'm glad to see him hooping again too. But I was always a believer of if he could get healthy, he'd be a monster.
He was a monster. He was the fastest kid. He was the fastest dude in the league at one point.
Hey, I'll sure find a way for him to be on the Hawks bench if he's interested. Jeez.
More.
Imagine if you got rid of a Holiday brother and replaced him with John Wall.
I don't think John Wall is a Nate guy. Personally, I think John Wall.
That part, I mean, by the time he get there, Nate might not be there no.
But speaking of this, if you look at this score right here, with 1 second left on the clock, it is 120 to 118. Dame Lillard did Dame Lillard things.
I watched this.
I'm sorry, not 1 second. 8
Fire!
seconds left on the clock. Hit that shot. Said, you know what time it is? Dame time. Yo, he's so like calm with it. Like, you know what's about to happen.
Yep. Quick step, drop that bomb on you. Like the Gap Band.
You know what time it is. But then Jamal Murray did his thing.
I know exactly what time it is.
Same move.
Here you go.
Same move. He hit the same move.
Hold that one right there.
And then walked off. 0.9 seconds left. Walked off.
I know what time it is. Time for me to go home with this dub. Man. You thought I was going there. Nope. And I hit you with the quick step.
Jeremy Grant, who's been playing quietly, has kept it playing really, 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 really well this season.
This is an excellent basketball game. This is almost as good as the Hawks winning last night versus the Bulls. We've gotten a lot of good basketball here recently. I'm happy about it.
And it's just now turning up because it's the end of, basketball, NBA really turns up at the end of the football season when you start to get 40 games and 40 nights. I cannot wait.
And Embiid giving somebody 50 every night.
Embiid finally realizing that he's bigger than everybody else. He's playing like a big man.
Let's talk about this.
So, the Pelicans and the Suns, it seems like this is a budding rivalry. Zion did a windmill dunk after the game was out of hand as the clock was going out. 126, 3, 2, 1. And Zion was like, yo, get them out of here. And he was saying they eliminated my boys. They eliminated my guys. So I had to put the exclamation mark on it.
So I had to do a little bit of detectiving. You go back and watch because they did put them out, but you got to see how they put them out.
Yeah, they scored
Yes.
Go ahead.
In the last 10 seconds of that closeout game, just like this. That is
not just that game, though. It was multiple games. Every game that they won, they did a closeout dunk or something crazy.
So this in a vacuum is classless. There's no need for this. There's no way you should do this. This is the type of stuff that gets you punched in the face. With that said, if the other team has been doing this to us, I come from a school called Lickback University, and I want my lick back. And if you think that you're going to do this to me and I'm not going to do this to you, oh, no, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm like, nah. That's why I'm like, nah.
Hey, what's good for the goose, good for the gander, bro. I'm with it.
You can't come to me and rush off the court and be like that and say, and remind you, these are the two best teams in the West, and say, you can't do that when y'all were embarrassing us when we weren't full strength.
Exactly.
Now we full strength and we beating y'all. And then Chris Paul, who the more I look at Chris Paul and like the little bullshit he be doing, the more I don't like him. Like when he elbowed Alvarado in the head, like he elbowed him in the face for no reason. Like Chris Paul does a lot of fuck shit, and he don't get called out about he's a good guy because he's no Cliff and State Farm got him with that squeaky clean thing. And then you see Monty over there too. Like, come on now, no. Y'all want to sit here and dunk on us and elbow me in the face and do all that bullshit. And look at you. Nah, you don't get to come over there and look at Willie Green. What I play for Willie, I run through a brick wall for Willie Green if I'm one of them players, because he out there talking to the coaches like, nah, you don't get to do nothing. Now you Landale, we don't believe who you are. And look at Monty. Yeah. Like, no.
Valanciunas is moving all of you when he gets ready. When he get ready to move all of y'all all gonna get the hell out of the way and say, excuse me.
He did punch Jared Jack in the nuts. Oh, I forgot about that.
But for me, I don't hate Chris Paul, but I would only deal with him on my team. You got to be on my team.
Quietly, they're also frustrated. They've lost 4 in a row.
Oh, yeah. They're not looking like – I mean, it might be tight on Chris Paul, bro.
What you mean,
Costs a
getting the
lot of
ring?
money.
Oh yeah, I mean you
Everything. He's just expensive.
I mean, there's nobody that's gonna take him. Nobody can take him because he makes like $40 million a year. You got a Westbrook contract.
How many more years does he have on that contract? Can't be many.
Why can't? Didn't they just re-sign him?
No,
Yes, they did.
he ain't he re-signed.
Yeah, he re-signed.
No way you re-signed him.
Yeah, he signed a 4-year, $125 million contract. His contract is over in 2 years. His contract is over in 2025, 2024, 2025. He re-upped with them last year.
My God, that's so much money.
And he's basically gonna play till he's 40.
Yeah, he'll be an unrestricted free agent at 40.
I like that dude Alvarado, dog. He funny.
I do too. He's a guy that you can't not like, and played at Georgia Tech.
Valanciunas up there looking like Steven Adams, just move out of the way. Yep. But with that being said, go ahead.
He's definitely like, just tell me who to push. I'll push all of them down.
New Orleans look like, I mean, hey man, and I'm gonna call you out on this. Let's see what you got to say now. You said Zion Williamson wasn't gonna be good.
So I knew that this was coming. Remember what I said? I said that he's 275 pounds. I don't think that him playing in the NFL for very long is sustainable. NBA. That's not a 1-year answer. And I knew that people were going to do that because he is playing well right now.
Who's better, him or John Collins?
Who?
Him or John Collins?
I have a unique opinion about that.
Oh.
If John Collins was able to shoot the amount of shots that Zion was, I would be interested to see what it looked like. I think it looked pretty good.
You really just tap dance and didn't give an answer.
No, my answer is John Collins doesn't get enough shots.
Who is better, John Collins or Zion Williamson?
You would have to say Zion purely on production. But Zion also isn't playing next to Trey.
Okay.
But I think that John Collins shoots 17 shots tonight. It's an interesting conversation. I definitely think it's an interesting conversation. But we'll never find out.
Sneaky said, "Don't lift your pivot foot."
I'm not. I would never. I don't travel, baby.
You walk. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Splashcast, episode 81, Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition. That boy Norwood, big man. Norwood, if we didn't miss anything, man, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this has been a fantastic episode. Once again, shout out to the Atlanta Falcons for doing the most important thing. What is that? Not losing.
Win.
We did not lose.
That's a win.
Also, shout out to Atlanta Hawks for at least winning this weekend tonight. Scheduled loss. We'll see in a couple nights what we look like. Hopefully, we'll get back healthy. Number one. More black baseball. And if you're gonna play Dominican baseball, please be healthy, Ronnie. Number 2, more black cowboys and more black cowgirls. Number 3, the historically black college university in your neighborhood, the one, not the one in your neighborhood, the one that your cousin graduated from, your mother graduated from, your stepbrother graduated from, your favorite church member. Send some money over there. Number 2, the historically black college university in the neighborhood which you live, the one that you go to for homecoming and all other type of events. Send some money over there. And then 3, finally, by far the most important, please send some money to Hampton University. We only ask for $18.68 on behalf of the year that Hampton was founded. Also, Send some money to Jackson State, just like Charles Barkley. Shout out to Chuck. If you are looking for us, this is where you can find us. This is the Instagram. It is at the Splashcast. Can you do me a favor, my friend? You can either go to the schedule this week, or you can go to the link tree. It doesn't matter. We can do either or. Fantastic. We are here now. You know, you have the little sticker that says, this is where you are now. You're right here for Monday Night Raw. Tuesday, the ATL edition will come out. It'll cover the Hawks. Ain't really much else to talk about. Adios to my friend Dansby Swanson. I just saw here that Alex Anthopoulos said something. We will tweet out what we discovered from that conversation. The Hawks are hawking.
Sucks, man. That conversation is gonna suck. I'm just gonna let you know that right now.
Well, diggity damn. Yeah, next week we'll tell you exactly. So we expect to hear you next week here on Tuesday. Wednesday, Splashcast. I'm going to put out a couple playlists. Thursday, for anybody who missed Monday Night Raw, it will be here. We'll be there around the league. We covered everything tonight. And then Saturday Morning Live, we will be back. We had to take off last week, had to take care of a little business. And we will be back picking NFL games. And we probably will look at some bowl games.
Yeah, bowl game starts. Celebration Bowl next week.
Oh. And that's the reason Reggie keeps me in the know. Number 1, at the Splashcast. Number 2, YouTube, the Splashcast. Apple Podcasts, the Splashcast. Spotify, the Splashcast. Google Podcasts, the Splashcast. Google Podcasts, once again, what? The Splashcast. Instagram, at the Splashcast. Twitter, this is where we get tricky, _ at the Splashcast _ that is Twitch, where you can see my handsome face and you can see Reggie in a hat for that other team. The TikTok at the Splashcast episode 77 playlist that's going to be updated. The Apple Music playlist will be updated. Going to leave the Homecoming Hangover playlist there. Twitter at the Splashcast. That's the Splashcast playlist home and master playlist.
Yes, sir.
With that said, we've had a fantastic night. It looks like Cliff Kingsbury is doing his absolute best job to try to get fired here tonight by the losing to the Patriots. It's only one thing. Oh, my God. It's only one thing for us to do now. It is hang out.
Peace. Just let y'all know.
Did you
merch
see
on
Cole?
the way? Yeah, he got down. He was about to get killed. Ooh, you thought you was tough.
Yo, as I close the show, I didn't mean to expect a man to just run into the worst parts of his day. That's unfortunate.
Oh, man, we out of here. Love y'all. Peace. As we saying, merch on the way. Website on the way. 2023. Y'all stay tuned. Love y'all. Bye.
Buenos.
Man, I miss my dogs. The ones I pick up for ain't never missed a call. Partner get it poppin', we had plans to get it all. Wishing you was here, dog, to ride these foreign calls. Man, I miss my dogs. Thuggin' on the block, really pissed to win the draws. Tryna make it out the hood, my dog had a cause. Fuck all the ops and fuck the law, they did him fraud. My dog is one who ride for me. They won't try me for a body, they gon' slide for free. Wherever I be steppin', they on side of me. Those over hoes, build up loyalty and honesty. My dogs kept it honest with me, no ifs, ands, or probably. You ain't my dog, we ain't never did no robberies. We had a cause, we was tryna hit the lottery. Young niggas bow, we was making it out privately. We did our thing, we did it privately. Tellin' your dogs, I never. When I can tell them something slick, I'm too clever. I wish my dogs more life, Hugh Hefner. You know I wrote it for my steppers. Man, I miss my dogs. The ones I pick up for ain't never missed a call. Partner get it poppin', we had plans to get it all. Wishing you was here, dog, to ride these foreign calls.